five-judge bench will be giving their ruling as to whether they'll pave way for, a ruling that would either pave way for the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, that commission chaired by Wafula Chebukati, to go ahead and form the referendum question or not. And let me bring in a brilliant mind, not a new face here on KTN News Center. That is Dan Kanokachu, who's a lawyer. And Wakili, thank you for joining us here on KTN News Center. So today's ruling, if I may say, it's being waited for. It's eagerly being waited for, specifically by, the political class, the people who are pushing, for these reforms to happen when it comes to changing 70 sections of the Constitution. So what do we expect from today's ruling?
Thank you so much, Brenda. Indeed, you've aptly captured it that it's being waited for with bated breath because the import of this particular decision to the country and to the process that started at the dispensation of this of Uhuru Kenyatta's second governance. You will find that not only is the government waiting for it, or the proponents, also the people who are opposed to it are eagerly waiting for this particular decision, because it will spell the direction that the country will take moving forward. So indeed, it's a momentous moment for the court today at 2:30. And indeed, I can aptly say that the entire country will be at a standstill, waiting to know which day.
All right. And when the court was giving the ruling in February this year in terms of barring the IEBC from proceeding with any, further process for framing that question. And there was a ruling that was given by the court. I'm just trying to get the right words to actually read it out. But it actually, I've found it. It actually stopped, not even stopped, but advised both the county assemblies and parliament, that is both the Senate and the National Assemblies, to stop, hastening this whole BBI process. But it looks like both, assemblies, that is both parliament and the county assemblies, were in a rush to ensure that this process actually sails through, that it finally lands at the door of parliament. Is that something that the judges will be looking at when they're making that ruling?
Brenda, what that particular decision denoted was that it only barred the IEBC from taking any steps towards now actualization of the referendum or the referendum question. It did not bar the county assembly or the National Assembly or the Senate from proceeding. And to an extent, you'd want to understand the haste in which this matter is being conducted, and has been indicated by my learned colleague Olo in your news bite. It is because of the fact that we don't have time. Remember, we have our elections next year. Remember, in fact, the Constitution says even the issue of the delimitation of boundaries should happen outside 1 year's period towards the general election. Remember, it is not prudent to have a referendum so close to a general election for many reasons, and it's not wise. So it can only make sense if that referendum is held, and it will only make sense if it was held before June. Anything outside June will seem a bit insensible. So the court ideally is not already faced with any act of contempt, because an act of contempt will now be after IBC has been notified by the president and it takes any steps devoid of the court decision. But thank God today, the court will either injunct that process completely and permanently, or will give a go-ahead. And I want to believe that this matter is not a matter that will end at this stage. It will find its way to the Court of Appeal and subsequently to...
All right. So we are seeing 7 cases before the court that were taken to the High Court for hearing and determination. So when the 5-judge bench will be giving their ruling, are we likely to see them giving a single ruling in terms of the 7 cases that was taken to the High Court before the 5-judge bench, or are they going to give each 7 case a ruling? Each of the 7 cases, I mean.
Yes, the petitions. So there are 7 petitions which were consolidated, which that in effect means they are being dealt with as if it is one case. and even in the manner in which it proceeded pursuant to the consolidation, the highlighting of the submissions, it was dealt with as one case. So we will most likely see one judgment, which will actually be by all the judges, unless there is a dissenting judgment. Remember, any judge can actually dissent and say that this is not my position. And the reason why it is a 5-judge bench is because of the majority will carry the day. You may have 3 judges taking a certain position, 2 judges taking a different or divergent position, but the position taken by the 3 judges will now be ultimately the position of the court.
All right. Wakili, do stay with me because we need to take a short breather so that we come back with this discussion. So we're going to be looking at the other side of the coin. Should the court give the IBC the go-ahead to frame the question and to conduct that referendum? What is the